Uh, ALR, Tommy Wong, Leo. Yeah. I'm drunk. That's a lie. I'm high as fuck. Abe's drunk. Ha got you twice. Feeling like my 9 to 5, 25 to life. Everybody wanna talk about how they got Christ. On the weekend when they come back to work Monday. They don't know what's going on, all they work one way. Never try to go past the path to beating what? Wanna tell me aftermath to see it such? But never getting on what they really wanna believe they on. Cause you know what, man, I let my mind release when I just hit the bong. And 9 to 5 feeling like 25 to life. 9 to 5 like 25 to life. My 9 to 5 like 25 to life. God Christ, what the fuck's going on, man? I wish I could get it right, Cause if I don't make it next 10, I feel like I can't be here for the next project. And I'm wasted, cause I got it in the waistband. What's the last memo? And the typo and the half of last week. But I felt like blowing my brains out cause I got it wrong. But spelling checks made me do something different.
So I stopped it there.
What was that?
That's 9 to 5. That's one of my favorite songs we did. He hated it though.
So it's 9 to 5. You and who? What's the song like? The whole
See, I think I got it titled under ALR Wong, ALR Boosh, and Tommy Wong, 9 to 5.
All right.
I should probably put that out.
That's on the mixtape or no?
No, that's on the SoundCloud, ALR Boosh.
All right, SoundCloud. All right. Another Saturday. Again, the kaiserSOboosh podcast.
Always
Kaiser,
recorded
of course.
Sunday mornings.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Whatever. It's a time, sometime, somewhere. Anyway, so this episode, what are we talking about? What's going on?
I don't know, man. Talking about chickens and chupacabras, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we need to talk about that right now.
Dude, that's all that matters is chickens and chupacabras.
Are we gonna talk about the comic book stuff?
We can, I guess, if you want to be all like normal and shit.
You were upset that it's on the back Captain America.
I mean, like, I'm not upset about it. I'm just saying other people's responses.
All right. So what's going on? What are we talking about?
Which one? You want the Captain America one, or you want the
just in general, just so everyone knows. All right. Yeah. Sure. Whatever.
Let me see. Captain America's a bad guy right now. He works for the Red Skull, I guess, the secret empire. But I want to see if I can find the quote so I can really for them. This is I don't know if this is the same thing, but Marvel promotes Captain America event with shirts promoting Nazi-linked group.
Oh, jeez. Duke, see?
Critics said the company's attempt to recast Hydra was sensationalistic garbage. So I don't know, that shirt just looks like a secret Empire shirt with the Hydra symbol, and it says Hell Hydra. Why is that Nazi-linked group? Or do they mean as a Nazi-linked group from the comics?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, then duh. Like, isn't that like what it is, though?
Yeah.
like, that's basically saying Marvel does shirt about villain. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, yeah. There we go.
People need a reason to bitch about everything.
Yeah. Anyway, what's going on with Captain America?
Marvel's mysterious secret empire comic seems Trump related.
And how so?
I know this article might be something else, so maybe I'll skim through it in a bit. But it seemed like a lot of people were just angry that Captain America is a bad guy in a time when society is supposedly gloomy because we have Trump in office. So Captain America should be a good guy promoting democracy because Trump won't do it. So that was one of the complaints going on from people. Like, if we can't count on Captain America, who can we count on, you know?
Oh, jeez, man. I mean, and what impact is that going to have? Like, if... Ah, man. So we're going to look to a fictional character for hope for, like, because something terrible in real life is happening. Like, well, Captain America being bad makes it worse? Or, like, I just don't understand.
Yeah.
We need a symbol to look up to, not a real person. If only Captain America were good right now, then I'd feel a lot better about world events.
Yeah, man.
About current, yeah. Yeah, no, all right, yeah. If that's how you're looking at it, then sure. I'd be upset too. All is lost now. All right, Trump's president, Captain America's a Nazi. It's over.
The other thing was Captain
America lost.
Yeah. Well, and that
All right.
we just got cut off because I lost power again because it's raining and shit. But I think what I was gonna talk about was oh yeah, some people were angry too that Captain America, I think he was created by a Jewish person, and to have him serving the secret empire is him working for Nazis, and that's disrespectful.
To
the creator who is Jewish.
Oh, it's disrespectful to him.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, because maybe he made him as a comic book fighter of Nazis, you know?
I don't know what the story is, though. Like, you know what I mean?
I don't know it in detail. I just know, like, Red Skull activated a cosmic cube and changed reality, and in that reality, Captain America...
First off, nobody knows how that dude would even feel about it. Now, I don't know what the story is. He obviously hasn't... Is this dude deceased, I'm assuming?
Probably.
Yeah, so... Nobody knows what he would think about it. I don't know what the story is. Maybe he would like it. Maybe there's a point to the story that he'd be like, yeah, this is a great use of my character. I don't know. So that's just people. I don't know.
I like this other article I found here. A lot of people think the Secret Empire seems Trump related because the first one was led by Richard Nixon in the 70s.
What?
I guess Nixon was a part of the Secret Empire in
the comic book. Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. See, it's all reality based. Look at that. So
Nixon be grimy. Presidents be grimy, yo. I think Nixon did that, and like the other guy, Reagan, was the guy in The Dark Knight pulling the strings behind Superman. You know.
So they think because of that, this one might be related to Trump.
If they're just gonna tell the same story again, yeah.
And people are mad about that, or they're just saying that?
Oh no, this one is just speculating that it's Trump. This is a totally different take on it.
Okay.
Like Trump's probably the bad guy, also in comics.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's just a story. Yeah, you know, Captain America's under mind control from some powerful thing, and he's a bad guy now. You know, like bad guys do bad things to good guys, and that's what this bad guy did. I don't get what's so.
So you got quotes here.
What's so crazy?
Let's read these quotes. Let's see if they have any.
Yo, he's under control of a Nazi. He's not gonna be saying good things.
Let's see. All right, I think this one seems to be in defense of it. From a Marvel executive. We try to write comics in 2016 that are about the world and zeitgeist of 2016, particularly in Captain America. Nick Spencer, the writer, is very politically active. He's a Capitol Hill head and following this election very closely, so we can talk about political issues in a metaphoric way. That's what gives
See?
our stories weight and meat to them. Any parallels you have seen to situations, real or imagined, living or dead, is probably intentional, but
Oh,
metaphorically, not literally. Because this is from last
bars.
year, because I think it started last year. Um, so this is like before Trump even gets in there. I was like Tom Brevard. But here is entertainment. I think this is an Entertainment Weekly person countering. Um, let's see. I think this move to state that while being fascist, Hydra aren't Nazis is sensationalistic garbage. Just because Marvel tells us that Hydra aren't Nazis doesn't mean that the intent with which they were created suddenly goes away. Kirby and Simon meant for them to be Nazis. As much as Marvel may want, that is not going away. They murdered millions, and I'm a lesbian whose grandfather was held as a POW by the Nazis during the war. I'm not going to promote this book. I'm not going to glorify something like this so Marvel can make a buck.
What's the story though?
A Secret Empire?
Wait, so yeah, Hydra's based off of Nazis. We'll just say that they're Nazis because that's what they're based off of.
Yeah.
So she's mad that they still exist as a character in present day,
It seems that way from that quote.
and that they're basically kind of still Nazis.
I'll say this. I think she's an employee for an Indiana comic book store.
What's it glorifying though? See, I don't know. I didn't read the story. I don't know what the story is. But in and of itself, I don't know. Is there some substance to the story? Is it talking about something? You know what I mean? Like,
Others were intrigued. This is her again. But others were intrigued to see how it played out, but they seemed few and far between. But what really got me the most were the kids who are absolutely beside themselves at the fact that Captain America was a bad guy. That was hard.
I don't know. I guess I'd have to read the story and see. And obviously, the comment before, you know, there's some other substance to it. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's all a metaphor for talking. You know, the writer talking about his opinion or how he feels about certain things. So I don't know. Maybe there's a decent discussion about democracy turning to fascism, or you know, whatever parallels there could be in that story. So I don't know. On face value, I don't think there's any reason to be mad, but I don't know. Maybe there's stuff in the story that makes sense, but I haven't read it though.
Critics argued the story was questionable given Marvel CEO Ike Perlmutter's reputed ties to Trump administration as he donated $1 million to fundraising campaign last year.
Wait, so they think that because he supports Trump that he made this like what? I don't. Why? What's the intent? Like, what's the motive? Where's the impact from doing that?
I don't know, man.
Do we have to read this? We have to read this story. Like, we're missing way too much. I'm not understanding. They just tried to say the comic. What? Read that again? What? What are they? What are they accusing him of?
I said it was a questionable, given the CEO had donated.
What was questionable?
Doing the story, like to even do that story.
The story was questionable because he's politically active and like I don't. Yo, at the end of the day, that they already explained that the dude that wrote it isn't that what you just? I don't know. Yo, all the stories are gonna have somebody's opinion and agenda in it, consciously or subconscious. You know, whether somebody told somebody to write that purposefully, or whether that's just what the artist wrote, or what just happens to kind of come out naturally. So, I don't know. And people have political affiliations and donate. Like, I don't know what that has to do with the story. Like, I I'm either missing a lot of information or I'm just not seeing the connection there. See, that sounds like some crazy ass headline. Like,
Oh, Magneto is also working for Hydra.
author of Captain America donates millions to Trump. No wonder story has Nazis in it. Like,
The
what?
CEO of Marvel.
Yeah, see, I mean,
By
whatever.
criticizing that, you're almost implying that you believe Trump and them to be Nazis. Like that would be the only like weird way, right?
Is that? Yeah, I don't even understand the story. Yeah, what is he saying? Like, why would the story have anything to do with Trump? Or, I don't know, bro. People be bugging out.
I have
So that was a non-issue. There's no issue going on with Captain America. Nothing's really going on.
Oh, that's why it's supposedly shocking that Magneto's an agent of Hydra. That's right. I forgot he was.
He's Jewish. Yes. Yes.
I got this big. It's too big to read right now, but it's a summary of, I guess, some blog from the site. It says Secret Empire explained. Probably should have done our homework and read it first, but oh well. Questions like, is Captain America a Nazi now? Is Magneto a Nazi now? Why is Marvel even running a story that seems to have generated strong disapproval from every demographic? Yeah.
Why is he getting so much disapproval? Because the bad guy used a mind control gem from space to make his arch nemesis work for him? Like,
Can't be having bad Jewish people. They need to be bad Thanos people.
Or is it the issue that Hydra exists, that there's like a Nazi bad guy?
Let's see. Hold on.
Is that the issue? Like, I don't understand. Nazis, there's still Nazis that still exist. Like, it's not like Nazis don't exist anymore either. Or people with that same ideology. So it's not like it's not relevant.
Let's see. There's two Hydras. One is linked to Red Skull and Nazi ideas, and the other, led by Elisa Sinclair, is the true Hydra. Sinclair is building an inner circle, including villains like Dr. Faustus, Arnim Zola, and the Taskmaster. Let's see. This faction featured on a series of variants, dubbed the Villain Variants, which include a few characters unaligned with Hydra, such as Baron Mordo, Kingpin, and Magneto.
Yo, it's bad guys doing bad guys stuff. I'm not sure. I didn't read. We need to like read the story because I'm not sure what the issue, like what's really getting people upset. Is it Captain America being bad, or just because there's Nazis in it, or is it something that happens in the story? I'm not sure.
I don't
know. So the diversity thing, though. So what was that?
I'll go.
Captain America is still mixed in with Nazis. That's what the takeaway is from that. So shout out to Captain America. Hopefully he gets mind controlled in that story, and
well, I guess they're trying to emphasize that there's two Hydras, and this Hydra is not Nazis, but still bad guys. But
and that's why they were like, "Oh, it's bullshit."
Yeah, no, they're all Hydras Nazis.
Yeah,
Magneto. I like this quote: "Magneto isn't a real person and can't make his own decisions."
That'd be correct. The writer makes decisions for Magneto. That's true. Yeah. So more. Yeah, I don't know. Captain America's fighting bad guys. He's in a situation in the comics apparently.
He's working for bad guys right now.
Yeah, it'll work itself out.
The great poet Kendrick Lamar. We gonna be all right?
We'll be all right. Yeah, I don't know. As far as the other stuff, I'm not sure because I didn't read it. So What else is going on in the comic book world? The diversity issue.
Let's see. Let's see if I find the quote. I should probably have all this shit up.
And you were mad about this, right? You said you hate.
I hate diversity. Is that what I said?
You said you hated diversity, and
Damn.
you like your comic book characters the way they are.
I'll get into that. But basically, some Marvel executive said they ain't selling shit because of the diversity thing.
Okay.
Yeah. What we heard was that people didn't want any more diversity. Gabriel, I'll find his name. But anyway, I don't know that that's really true, but that's what we saw in sales. That's what he said. Executive.
So they didn't
Vice
really make
President
any.
David Gabriel, Marvel.
So they didn't really make any. It sounded like empirical correlation between the two.
Yeah.
But they just noticed that as a result.
Yeah.
So what were your thoughts on it?
I
Go ahead, Hydra. Go ahead.
It wasn't that I was against it. I was just against like maybe replacing the characters that people already know. Like it seems like a cop out on both ends. Like to just have like, all right, man, we're gonna make an Iron Man a black girl.
I think that's the point though, is making the iconic characters have a new face that is more representative of the place that we live. I'm not about political correctness or anything like that, but I think that's what the point of that is.
But can't we be something new instead of just something that already exists?
Well, I think the thing with that is like we were talking about this earlier is if let's make the new black dude character or the lesbian character, that's cool. They can make new characters like that, but there's still something about the iconic characters. Like, why can't the top well-known characters have a change of face? Not some new character that may just disappear into obscurity, and we're just, let's just make a new character that's labeled X, Y, and Z, right? You can easily do that. But it's much more uncomfortable to change the already existing character. So, I don't know.
I mean, maybe also like we're at the point now too, man. Maybe doing it in the comic book isn't the best thing anymore. Because, like I said, I don't want to say no one reads these things, but I feel like everybody who reacts to these things doesn't read them. You know?
They're probably just more reacting to where this is coming from in terms of like, you know, reflecting from society and like what's really going on. And it probably just has to do, people are just probably tired about hearing about all of this stuff. So now it's just like, damn, like I'm just trying to read a comic book and now it's like getting political and, you know, like, I don't know, people can get probably tired of it. Seeing some of the same stuff that you have to see in the news and, you know, current events leak into some of your other stuff that maybe you don't want to have anything to do with that.
Yeah.
You know, now you can't escape in your comic books. Now you're like, now Iron Man's a black chick, and you don't know if this
Hulk
is some
Korean.
You don't know if this is some politically correct thing that maybe you feel whatever way you feel about, or
Thor is a woman now too.
But there's no reason that those characters couldn't be people that are not their original characters. Well, like, you know, why wouldn't the Hulk be Korean? Right, yeah, I mean, we said a lot of those comic books, the origins, you know, come from, you know, the 40s and stuff, and it was a different time in the country, and the characters were you know, in terms of like what the characters look like and the demographics and race and stuff was reflective of those times. It's different now, so you know.
Yeah, but like I said, like maybe it is that just people are just attached to the old ones, you know? So when you introduce these random new people but still call it the same name, you're kind of like shocked, you know? Like who is like you have no connection to this version now, you know?
So is your connection to Bruce Wayne or is it to Batman?
Um
Or are the two inseparable? Is Batman Bruce Wayne
like for a lot of people, yeah.
or is Batman just the abstraction that he represents? Batman, even in the movie, he says anyone can be Batman. Remember that?
Yeah.
In one of them, he says
And you
anybody
talking
can
about the
be
Nolan
Batman.
ones, but yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
probably
and
not.
that's you know that makes sense. Batman's not special other than you know being rich and or whatever. So that more so even that character even more so anybody could be Batman, like literally anyone could just pick up that mantle and choose to be Batman.
Yeah.
So I don't know if
But like I
you
said, it's
identify.
happened there too, and most people, those probably aren't the things that people will remember anyway. Because there's Azrael. I think more people remember Batman breaking his back than Azrael taking over. You know.
Yeah,
More people, Nightwing or Dick played Batman for a minute when Batman went time traveling. You know. I think a lot of people wanted to take Batman mantle at the time, but
I guess it just depends. I mean, they could literally just change the way, just say like, hey, it's not Bruce Wayne anymore, and literally write it the exact same way as if it was so Bruce Wayne,
you could,
and not change the personality of the character.
do you think people would respond the same,
I don't,
or would they be like, "But we want Bruce because like we've always known it to be Bruce"?
they probably wouldn't notice that it's the same. I would think. I would guess that you wouldn't even notice just because it looks different. Some people would.
But I don't know if it's just because like. But to me, like I said, Star Wars is doing the same thing. I wonder if this is just a Disney thing, like because they're both under the same roof. But Star Wars is doing their whole diversity thing. They got like more women than ever before. And it works there, but it's just brand new people. Like instead of them being like taking up like, all right, I'm Darth Vader now. I'm this.
We
now.
can't be Darth Vader. Darth Vader is that character. Like Batman is not Bruce Wayne. That's the thing. Batman is what Batman represents, the fight for justice. Anyone can do that. You know what I'm saying? We can't replace Clark Kent as Superman because him and Superman are inseparable. Clark Kent is Superman. We can't just be like, that's not a costume for him. We can't just be like, oh, well, we're just gonna make Superman another like that. Just
Well, they have
that wouldn't really make
Supergirl.
any sense. Yeah, but she's from his planet and she's just part of his race, so that makes sense. She's not replacing. She's not Superman. She's just another person from that place. Batman, Bruce Wayne, while he's unique, and we can't just be like, let's just replace Bruce Wayne with another dude, and it's the same story. His parents got killed. That'd be retarded. You'd be like, wow, that doesn't make sense. But someone else can put the Batman costume on and fight for the same things that Bruce Wayne fights for and represent the same thing or represent something different.
But it might not feel the same as a reader because part of the reading the comic books that doesn't happen on any of the shows is that inner monologue because you always get to see.
So then if you want to just have the same thing, then just keep reading old issues all the time, right? Because then it's just, I mean, at some point you're just reading Bruce Wayne and Batman fight bad guys all the time, right? Like at the end of the day.
Yeah, but that's like everybody's story pretty much.
So, I mean, I don't know. Keep reading old things. It's just going to be the same thing anyway. If you don't like the new thing. And then, I mean, like, what is Bruce Wayne? We said, like, is he immortal? Does he never die? Or do these characters just nothing ever happens to him? I mean, that's kind of whack too.
I mean, they all have their end stories, but they're usually all like in the other worlds or just like what if stories, you know?
Yeah, because real heroes die. But I mean, I see what you're saying, but at the same time, I mean, I just don't see why it's just like, hey, Bruce Wayne's too old to be Batman, or this new person's Batman, this new person is Captain America, this new person's Iron Man, and they just look different for whatever reason. It doesn't have to be always the same dude. It doesn't always have to be, I don't know. It doesn't always have to be the same thing. It's not the 1940s. It's not going to be like the stereotypical strong American white male that has to be the superhero. But I don't think none of that stuff should be forced, though. I mean, if that's what people want, or if that's what the writers genuinely, want to write it. I don't even know who's writing this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, is the
Just
person who wrote
writers.
is the person who wrote, they're coming from a different time. Is the person that wrote the Iron Man, is it a female? Is it a woman that wrote it? Maybe that's her perspective on being Iron Man. It's a female. It's not Tony Stark. Like, people can still be. So now we've got to restrict people's creative abilities. Maybe potentially be saying that you can't be creative and think what you want. You got to keep writing the same old thing that I want you to write. And then just not have it even be reflective of, real stuff. Like, there's no reason why Hulk can't be Korean. Like a new Hulk.
Or you could just make new heroes, dude. Just make new heroes. That way no one's mad. Make new heroes, like I said, and then the easy way, just put them in the Avengers. And that way you have to pay attention to them.
So the old heroes just stay immortal, though? And we just add new people, and those people just...
Well, I mean, they have to stay immortal because they're brands, right? Like, even...
So you want us to just literally keep Bruce Wayne alive forever as Batman?
I mean, he's already been that way. He's already going on like 70 years or some shit.
You just want to just stay with Bruce Wayne until...
Every time he leaves, they bring him back, right? like,
he can't even fight no more. He's like literally like 90 years old. He still got Bruce Wayne.
That was the Dark Knight story. He was an old man, and they bring him. He brought himself out of retirement because he's addicted to that shit. But yeah.
Yeah, but you want to push it. He wasn't 90 years old in that.
He's like 60. He's an old fucking man, dude. He's an old man. That's the oldest he's ever been in that story.
Yeah, so we need older.
Well, I mean, he'll never age because it's he's not immortal, but he might as well be, Like the story, it's Act 2. Like I said, the story is always Act 2.
People just don't like stuff that they like being changed. I mean, I don't see what it does to it doesn't diminish the story, so I just don't understand why. If you make a new character or don't make new characters and make an old character a new person, like, I don't know. Is the story good? Like, I get it. I know Bruce Wayne's been Batman for mad long. Like, that's who I'm going to identify as, Batman is Bruce Wayne. If Batman is somebody else now, whatever. I still remember the Bruce Wayne Batman. What's this Batman do? Like, I'm not going to be heartbroken that, like, is the story good? What's this guy? What happened to this guy? Why is he Batman? Or am I just going to be like, oh, it ain't Bruce Wayne. This shit is whack. Is the stories good? Is the artwork good? Like, I don't know how people are judging stuff. I don't know.
You would have to...
Like, read this shit.
You need to introduce... You need to find a way, like... Because, like I said, we don't know who reads comic books, but, like, in order to do something like this and have it be the majority, you would probably... I think right now the movies would be the way to do it. But you would probably have to introduce it on something that enough people are gonna carry on. Cause like I hear like even though like for me, Green Lantern is probably Hal Leonard. Right? That's his name, Hal Leonard, I think. The white guy. That's probably like my Green Lantern, you know? But to a whole generation of people who grew up with the TV show, just like we grew up with Batman animated series, like I don't know if it's Teen Titans or Young Justice or one of those DC shows that I guess we were in college or some shit or just living life. But to a whole bunch of people, it was a Cartoon Network show. Like Green Lantern is Jon Stewart now, you know? The Black Green Lantern. You know?
And does the Green Lantern suck now?
No. But I mean, like, just
So-
that whole story. Like I said, DC seems to have like a better way of doing it. Like they have a better way of transitioning. But
Oh, so you want the torch to be passed? It's got to make sense.
Yeah.
You don't want Zap. You just want it to be in a story. You just don't want a new.
yeah, do that shit right, man. Like,
I mean, I don't. It's. I just think it's funny you say that being an artist, because maybe just someone who likes the character Iron Man is just like, hey, I'm just starting a new Iron Man story. I like Iron Man, but I want it to be like this. Because this, at the end of the day, it's all art, right? So, like, going back to the rap stuff, like, all this shit now is rap. All that stuff is Batman and Captain America, whether you like it or not. It is, but hey, that's the new take on it, or that author's take on it, or that artist's take on how they decided to draw a character or make the costume, or, you know, wherever it comes from. So I don't know, but
I don't know. Like
I would just think it'd be based on whether the story is good or not. Because at the end of the day, the comic book is just telling the story of just different characters, or superheroes, or whatever, doing stuff. And I would think that
almost
is
feel
long.
that if I was working it on their like as an artist on it, I would probably feel exactly like what you're saying. Like, but I guess since here, like as a fan who's attached to maybe like some of those names, I would be on the other side unless that was my job. Then I'd probably feel on your side, you know?
Right? You want us we always want Boosh to make the same beats. Like, you might get tired of making this. You might want to explore something different. So the people that are making this stuff, you know, they might have their own ideas and stuff, and you may not like it, and that's okay. But I would think a comic book would be judged off of the story and the artwork. So, I mean, if the artwork's good and the story's good, I don't know what difference if this is a brand new reboot of Iron Man. No one likes reboots. I don't. But what if it's good? Like, what if it's a badass story and Iron Man is a half Chinese, half black guy from Warsaw, Poland?
People might not notice.
Why would you? Is the story good? Is this
I know,
dope
but they might not pay attention to that, you know?
So I don't know what they're paying up. What are they just flipping through, kind of looking at
Well,
the
you might
pictures?
be
Like, what are
just
you
so
doing when you're
blinded by like, oh, but it's not that to even take into account the rest, you know?
That doesn't make sense. It's crazy.
But it does. It happens all the time. Sometimes you're so blinded by one issue that you can't see everything else around it.
So you just be like, it's not that. I don't like it because it's not that. But I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
So it's just, all right. Yeah. No, willful ignorance. Okay. Well, then whatever. Then there's no even discussion about any of this. If that's gonna be your take on it, then there's nothing to even discuss. Yeah, sure. New shit just fucking sucks. Don't fucking read the new shit then, right? If that's how you're gonna frame it. Hey, it's not that. I don't even know what that is, but I don't like it. So maybe you know that. You that's okay to have that opinion too. And feel that way too. So
Is this the Marvel episode?
yeah, I don't know. Marvel's making people angry with changes to fictional characters and fictional stories.
I feel bad
Obviously,
because I
people
feel like
are
I stole all
People
my
are very
topics.
attached to.
I stole all the topics from like a podcast I heard yesterday, but I just thought like we
And
like comic
then
shit too. So like,
another thing is the demographic. Like I'm sure a large portion of it's younger. So like we were talking about Captain America, like or Iron Man, like are the original people when Iron Man was like written, like there's like 80-year-old people marching against the new Iron Man and new Hulk characters because it's not their original shit from the 40s. Like,
yeah, man, Bruce Banner for life, dude. You don't understand?
I mean, yeah, I guess, I guess. But, probably a bunch of young people just, I don't fucking know. Man, Batman was using guns, so I don't even know why people see it. I ain't even trying to hear none of this. I don't know who's saying none of this. Batman used to use a gun back in the day, but then people are upset that this new Batman was using guns. It's just
Because this is what I'm saying. But this is what I was saying. Like just like Bruce Wayne is kind of like the one Batman for most people, or Barry Allen is the Flash for most people. Even though, like Green Lantern might be a little bit more divisive, but I think for most people, maybe some young ones who grew up on like a Teen Titans or something or whatever, Young Justice might be Wally West. But I mean, I think for most people it's going to be Barry Allen.
So what would be the difference if...
No, but with the Batman thing, a lot of people kind of glorified that one, the one who doesn't use guns, because that's how his family was killed and shit. And it goes with that whole legend, but again, it goes with that whole legend of the man who doesn't use guns, but like never loses the bad guy.
But they must have, but they forgot about the original OG 40s Batman rolling around with like a revolver.
He was like, "Fuck this shit."
Robin had like a World War I machine gun that was being water cooled. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Batman's just going out clapping people at night, fucking fighting crime. So. Yeah, I didn't even know that. You know what I'm saying? So here I would be if I were to be bad, and I didn't even know that was, what was really the case. Plus, what will be the difference, right? Let's say you had Batman, right, Bruce Wayne, but the comic is written by a different person, right? Like, what if it still says Bruce Wayne, it still says Batman, but it's a complete different person writing the character. Their own complete different thing. Writing it completely, might as well be a different character. Bruce Wayne's...
Well, I feel like that's already actually happened.
Yeah, no, I know it
has happened already.
I don't think all the Batman comics have been written
like
by one
a lot.
person.
Like the Batman that we probably glorify is to most people the guy who wrote The Dark Knight, the guy who made 300. What's that guy?
But I'm saying the character probably changes with different writers on it.
Yeah. But I mean, like to most people, like that's Batman Prime. Frank Miller, that guy.
Yeah.
Like.
Well, so then the characters are always changing.
Yeah, because I think if you read
people
Batman,
are just attached to the name. People are just attached to Bruce, the name Bruce Wayne. They could probably draw the face almost like Bruce Wayne and just have a different name, and people would be mad. Like this shit literally.
They still do. They do a Batman 66 comic. I think that's what it's called. And that's the Adam West style Batman. And obviously that guy is not acting like Frank Miller Batman, killing people, He's more in that wacky
I don't know, though.
He's not. He's not. He's in that wacky way. He's acting like Adam West used to act with the shark spray and all that shit, if you remember that.
I mean, if the new comics that have been changed, like if the new Hulk comics are whack, then that's a reason to be mad. If it's just like, there's no story, the artwork is shitty, like, then I'd be mad. Like, I've been a fan of the Hulk for a long time, and now they come out with this.
Yeah.
And it's not even quality. It's just not a quality comic book, not because the character looks different. Like, there's just a background detail that's just like, I don't know. I don't like Spider-Man because his name's Peter Parker. And because...
give me that Ben Reilly Spider-Man. Remember how well that worked out?
Yeah, right. But I don't like, I like the character. I like how that character is written. You could call him something else. I like the story, you know what I mean? Like, I like the wisecrack kind of part. But I don't know, maybe I'd still like Spider-Man if somebody else in the story took it over, but they were dark, or Peter Parker was going through a hard time, or something else. I wouldn't care. Is the story good? Like, fucking Spider-Man could be Jamal Walker from down the street. I don't care. Is the story good? I don't know, man. People be bugging out. As long as the quality didn't diminish in your eyes, then I don't see what the issue should be.
I got you.
Unless you're measuring quality by, like, the ethnicity and nationality of your superheroes, which just sounds kind of weird.
I mean,
I'm
like,
not saying it's racist or anything. It's just weird.
If I were to like read them, or like preferably like watch them as an animated format, and if they were cool, then I would probably still like it. You know what I mean?
What?
What?
You would do what?
No, at the end of the day, if I were to either read them or preferably like watch them in an animated format, and if they were still cool, then I would like still like them anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I bet you if the story was good, you wouldn't really.
Like, I
really
wasn't
care.
a big fan of Damien, like, when I first heard about him. Not that even though I only heard about him a few years ago, because he started becoming more prominent to stories and stuff. But, like, then when I started, like, watching some of the stuff they were doing with him in the animated movies, I was like, I like this guy. He's an asshole, you know? Because it was, like, a Robin who was, like, half Batman, half Ra's al Ghul's family, you know? And it just seemed like stupid at first, and like he has a son now, and I thought it like took away from like Bruce Wayne's kind of like loner style, you know. But then I got to see him do his thing, and I was like, yeah, this guy's the best. He walks around with a sword. I'm like, come on, how are you not gonna like that? He got a sword. He got a cape hoodie. That's like super hood, you know. That's like
yeah.
That's like.
And it would make sense that the heroes change over time, not only because different people are writing the character, and even the same person writing the character over time may change, and thus their writing change and the character change. But the hero should change too as times change and things change. Not necessarily the way they look, but the character should change. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want this Batman to be the same thing. Like, why do you like Batman?
Probably because he's a dude who battles gods and shit, in my opinion.
He's just a regular man.
Yeah,
that's why.
He's just doing badass shit.
So you just admire the fact that Batman's a superhero who's just a regular man, and.
But the whole thing is like mad crazy, like to just be like driven your whole life by one moment, because he doesn't want anyone to feel like the pain that he felt, you know. And
maybe later on, and this may have happened in the comic book, I don't know, I didn't read all of it. What if that changes, though? Because that could happen to somebody. You could be driven by something your whole life, and maybe something else happens, and it changes Bruce Wayne, just like it could really change somebody. So if we're looking at these characters as like we identify with something, or we're inspired by them, or we relate to them, as real people, we change too. So why wouldn't the characters as well change?
Yeah. I mean, they can change as people, but
they're just a reflection of us who's changing. So of course they,
Yeah.
Why not? Batman's not a loner anymore. Maybe Batman gets tired of being a loner. Maybe he gets fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, that could drive you crazy for a person, because he is just a regular dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe after a while that starts getting to him. You know what I mean? Being a loner all the time. Maybe it starts to weigh on him. Maybe he changes his attitude about stuff. Like, what would be wrong with that? Yeah. But, I don't see any problem with characters changing or becoming bad for a while, or deciding to use guns, or doing something that they didn't normally do, because most of these characters are just people that have something change. They got a superpower, or they don't have a superpower, or something happened to them. But they're still people at the end of in the comic books, in their stories, they're still people, and they still deal with like regular people stuff too. So why wouldn't they change, or get angry, or go against their code one day, or betray somebody? You know what I mean? Why wouldn't they do some of those things?
Yeah.
Because then, if not, then we're just looking at unrealistic, perfect models that never, you know what I'm saying? Like, then it wouldn't even be. I don't know. I wouldn't really be inspired by that if Batman wasn't. He just was always the cold loner fucking dude and just never. I mean, for a while that'd be cool, but after a while, it's just like, all right, man. Is that even realistic?
Well, I mean, some degree. I mean, some people don't change, right?
I don't know.
Like, for better or worse. Like, I mean, to me, like, a lot of the movies don't do the best job of. They might be good Batman movies, but they don't always catch Batman. They don't always make Batman look good or capture, like, a good version of Batman. And I feel like Lego Batman kind of did a good job of that.
Like a more funny version?
No, not a more funny, but like Lego Batman, obviously that one's, because of what it is, it was funny. But in that one, like, he's kind of an asshole to everybody because he's afraid to let anyone close to him just out of fear of losing them again, you know?
Yeah, and that's one perspective that you could take on that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There could be another because a person could react to that trauma differently. So a writer could interpret how Batman reacts to that. Could be like, yo, being an asshole is, to keep people away. Or maybe it's some other type of reaction to that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
in that movie, it even illustrates. That's what I'm saying. Like, somehow that movie to me got Batman more over as a person than any of his Batman movies so far. Then, like, there's a moment in there where Dick Grayson, he's really like, he's played like a child in this one, but he just wants a dad. He doesn't want to be Robin. He wants a dad more than anything. And there's a moment, Batman pushes everybody away yet again, and he's like, what would Batman do, And he gets to put on the Nightwing costume for like a minute, and he's just a dark version of himself for the first time in the movie. And I was like, oh, man, like, that's kind of fucked up, because it almost pretty much like shows like he turns out how he turns out, maybe because Bruce probably wasn't the best dad that he could have been, like he was maybe more focused on everything else versus like, hey, let me care for this.
Yeah, there's consequences for it because there's still people. So why can't we have different things happen in comic books? You know what I mean? I just don't understand what the big issue is. Yeah. Or is it that you just don't like Koreans and you don't want Hulk to be Korean? Like, I don't know. Like, what is it? I got to hear like a valid. And there's probably an argument against it, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure somebody might have a good argument to hear, but I don't know. I'm gonna chalk this up to just just people crying about things.
Yeah. I will say, like, I probably may not have the argument for you. I just know, like, just based on society, like what was gonna happen, dude. like how
yeah. And on the flip side, there's a reason why the characters have looked the way they've looked for so long.
Yeah.
And not all of it is necessarily from a negative place. Some of it just has to do with demographics in general. So, people can't be always completely mad on the other side about stuff either.
And honestly, what's probably gonna happen, especially after Infinity War, they need to understand that, because a lot of times you just need a star to be born a certain way, and then you can run with it. The time is probably coming where Marvel may need to be like, look, man, these movies are our thing. Like, maybe we need to introduce blah blah in the movie so that can translate to all our other mediums, Like, maybe that needs to be a ground zero now, And
what? Blah blah. I don't know.
Like whoever you're introducing, like whether it's like a brand new character or a character taking over, like if a lot of people think Captain America probably will go after Infinity War, and someone else will take over for him. I mean, like
in the movies.
Yeah. So like both of those things,
The actor?
Yeah. But he won't be Steve Rogers no more. Like he'll be Bucky or move. He'll be Bucky or he'll be Falcon. I think most people think he'll be Bucky. Like I'm Team Falcon, but whatever. But either way, that story has already been done in the comics, so that's not a great example. But that's just one that I think people think is gonna happen. But like whatever, something dramatic like that. Those things need to happen in the movie now. Like most of the stuff from comics has come from comics first and then other medias. But like Harley Quinn, she was born on the animated TV show that we used to watch in the 90s, you know?
Mm.
And then she was so popular there that she just transcended and got to join the real world, a.k.a. the comic world, you know?
Oh, I see what you're saying. So they should introduce into the whole product universe through the movies,
because honestly that's where we all keep up with it now. I mean, like at a mass base, because if you win the mass audience, then you don't have to give a shit about these people complaining, because it's like, that's cool, but money says this now, you know. So you can just, that's how you would win them all now, you know. So you might need to do your changes not on that comic books, because like who's buying it, but you know, had you done something like, look at all the Iron Fist Doctor Strange bullshit with the whitewashing, you know. Had you had like Korean Hulk, like, you know how much it probably would have been some people bitching, but like I bet you would have gotten more praise at that, you know, had you had him in the movie Korean Hulk, you know, versus doing it in a comic book where I guess not enough of the media in the world cares about, you know. And then if you saw it in the movies, well, then now it's like,
would Korean Hulk be like a new character? You're saying like a new character in the movie. It's not Bruce Banner anymore.
Well, he's in the comic book. He is Korean, but his name's Amadeus Cho. So no, it's not.
No, it's a different. Yeah, is that what you're saying? They should have did in the movie.
Yeah, just do that, because now it'll further solidify him as a meaningful character. Like, I guess because a lot of us don't place the merit to the comic anymore as we once did when we were younger, you know? Like, to have new ideas come from there now, you know, because that's not where our attention is. You know, so when the comics keep moving and we just check it once every 2 years, we're like, what the fuck? These guys are crazy, you know? Like, versus, like, had they done it on a movie when we're all paying attention, be like, man, that was crazy, but blah, blah, blah. Did you see what he did? That was crazy. And, like, you know, and plus all our attention is there now. You know, it's not just like some event you heard on because some people were bitching about on Google. You know, like all the other.
But I wouldn't even know if it was coming from the comic book or not. And like I knew about Civil War from the comic book.
Yeah. I think Civil War is old enough, the first one, not the second one, is old enough that we were probably still kind of following things here and there.
I remember Johnny had it. That's why.
Yeah, that's how old Civil War is. So, but stuff like Avengers versus X-Men, like that's beyond us already. You know, that's when we're not paying attention. Or Civil War 2, like that was last year, I think.
As long as the story's good, I really don't care what you name the characters. I don't care what they look like, as long as the story's good. And I don't want people to just be zapped like, hey, we're just making just an arbitrary change. Like, hey, just have a good story for it. And if it's a good story, then I like it. And if it's not a good story, then I won't like it.
Yeah. Well, we already like an hour.
All right.
But
all right, so
there's one more. There's one more comic story if you want to talk about it. And then we can end after this one. There was a X-Men comic. I didn't even know they still made X-Men because I thought they were like, fuck those guys because Fox owns them. But I guess they had an artist there who is Muslim, and he drew like a bunch of like anti-Semitic things, like kind of hidden. And so they had to kind of republish it without that stuff, you know? X-Men Gold 1. Like, I guess he put numbers that I don't know if what they correlate to, or like, I guess this is like Kitty Pride, and she's standing next to a jewel store, but Jew is Jew, you know, like little things like that. But let me see. I'm trying to see like what they would say. The verse translates. Let's see. I think they like responded into verses from maybe the Quran or something. I'm not sure. Like the number 212 and 51 appears in a scene of X-Men Gold 1 by Indonesian artist Ardian Seraf. Let's see. Verse translates into English as, "Oh, you who are believed, do not take the Jews and the Christians as allies. They are, in fact, allies of one another. And whoever is an ally to them among you, then indeed he is one of them." Indeed.
So why do you bring this up?
We were talking about comics already, so I was like, "Oh, this was the last thing I've heard about for comics this week."
Oh, you're just randomly bringing this up.
Yeah. I didn't have no point. I just was.
That kind of just validates that what you get in the comic book to some degree is a reflection of the person that's putting it together.
Yeah.
So why the character looks a certain way may not necessarily be because there is an agenda. Maybe it is because it is. Maybe it's because the person that's writing it then and there looks like that, and that's how they see the hero. Maybe they see themselves looking like that, or they want to see a reflection of themselves in the hero. Because ultimately, that is where the heroes come from anyway, period. All those heroes are the reflections of whoever created them. Stan Lee, or just things he was dealing with, I'm sure, are come out in those characters. So, even something like that, this dude, feels however he feels about Christians and Jews or whatever, or anybody else. And, he put it sneakily in the artwork, but could have just as easily been something in the subtext or something in the just regular text, or whatever the case may be. So you can't always get mad because something is not the way we like it or change, because it's just coming from someone else's mind. But that's crazy. I mean, I don't know. The dude probably got fired, and
I don't know if he's fired yet, but I think they're kind of. He probably will. I mean, that would be the predicted thing. But, yeah, I think they're kind of handling it right now. They put out there, "We didn't know this was going on. They don't reflect our views," message. The artwork will be removed in subsequent printings, and I hear now on eBay and stuff like that, those issues.
I'm sure.
Because a lot of the issues were pulled. I should have messaged my friend. He works at a comic book store.
Yeah, because they're going to be rare now.
Yeah,
Only whatever
you got some golds in the back, dog. Like X-Men gold ones. Need to sell that shit on eBay.
You got the racist
X-Men.
the anti-Semitic X-Men issue.
Yeah, Colossus is wearing a shirt with that with those I guess verses or whatever on it and stuff. Verse numbers. So.
Yeah, I mean, people do crazy stuff. But that's how he was conveying, his message or whatever. So obviously I don't agree with anything like that, but you just might not agree with somebody else's take on a character or their change on it, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
Dude.
Bacon.
So that's it. That's this episode, Marvel Universe. Captain America's fighting bad guys.
Damn, if we're gonna talk Marvel, man, we need to do the fucking shows, because then I would be so much better.
Stories change people. I don't know if it's forcefully or there's a secret agenda, but people do change. Stories change, characters change, things just change in general. And I guess probably don't write bad things in your work secretly, and might get caught and you get fired. Probably just don't be hateful in general. But you know, hey, I can't tell you what to think or how to express yourself, but maybe not one of the smartest places to do that at.
Do that on the internet where you can hide your identity.
Hey, you know, whatever.
Don't
it's
do
your
it.
fucking thing. Well, I'm not gonna tell you not to
public.
express yourself, say whatever you want to say, but you know, you do that at your own risk, whatever you're trying to do.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Shout outs to everybody complaining about stuff. Even though I be complaining about rap, but that's different because the quality of rap has decreased. For something that I love the quality of, to see it just decrease.
Oh man, podcast
that's
two
like,
about to start.
That's like if comic books were like stick figures now, and you'd be like, "What the fuck, comics? They giving us stick figures now? This is a damn shame."
Oh man,
Now I'm just messing around, but yeah, some of these dudes are trash though. Near it. Yeah. Yeah. This RoboCop's crazy.
ALR. Tommy Wong. Leo. Yeah. I'm drunk. That's a lie. I'm high as fuck. Abe's drunk. Ha got you twice. Feeling like my 9 to 5, 25 to life. Everybody wanna talk about how they got Christ. On the weekend when they come back to work Monday. They don't know what's going on, no, they work one way. Never try to go past the path to being what? Wanna tell me aftermath to see such? But never getting on what they really wanna believe they on. Cause you know what, man, I let my mind release when I just hit the bong. 9 to 5 feeling like 25 to life. 9 to 5 like 25 to life. My 9 to 5 like 25 to life. God Christ, what the fuck's going on, man? I wish I could get it right, Cause if I don't make it next then I feel like I can't be here for the next project. And I'm wasted cause I got it in the waistband. Was the last memo and the typo that I had for last week. But I felt like blowing my brains out cause I got it wrong. But spelling checks made me do something different that I didn't think could be going on. And I didn't get it in, didn't get it pinned, didn't even correct it, didn't write it out, man. I just let it go ahead and lie. 9 to 5 feeling like 25 to life. 9 to 5 like 25 to life. My 9 to 5 feeling like 25 to life. Jesus Christ, I wish I could get out tonight, but I can't. Trapped in this shit forever and shit. It's kinda trippy sometimes, but I'll just sit here and take my pills. Sort through my bills and feel like I don't got no more free will. And I don't chill no more inside of the store and go and smoke cigarette lows, optimals. I'm just worried about my baby formula in kindergarten. How to get to graduation, and when I can get a chance, a little bit of masturbation inside of my bedroom, in a master bedroom, 100 G's at this bed, no, but I'm on my knees cause I got a bill and a pedigree. It's something I just feel that my 9 to 5 is gonna get me more of. Cause this 9 to 5 is 25 to life, I need more of. 9 to 5 feeling like 25 to life. Cause I don't want nothing at all, just want something. 9 to 5 like 25 to life. 9 to 5 like 25 to life. God Christ, what the fuck's going on, man? I want something. I just wanna be gone. Tell me that you gotta beat it dope, cause everybody wanna come around sin. Wanna be the man, get it in, got a 20 twin. When you sippin' gin, gonna make a lot of money when it's taken up by the 5 and 10s. But I don't think you gon' get it in, cause I don't think that you finna do nothing like the man bluff a 10, man, you. Just never doing anything, man, you really can't kick it like man, you. Tell me one ball, man, you still.